Today, we are going to dive into one of my favorite topics. This is going to be about the importance of celebrating the small wins. This might seem like such a simple concept. It is super profound, and it affects our mental health, our motivation, and our overall well-being. There's just too many of us that grind through life and we achieve these goals, but then we forget to celebrate, we forget to have fun, we forget to make it exciting. And if we don't do those things, we are going to fall into a trap of burning out and even experiencing anxiety, depression, and a state of not wanting to move forward. So in this episode, we are going to try to change all of that. We're going to explore why celebrating small wins is such a crucial thing for our success. We're going to teach you what happens in your brain when you actually take time to acknowledge your progress. We're going to show you also what happens when you decide not to celebrate the small wins. We're also going to decide how celebrating in a community can amplify these effects, these feelings, and keep us motivated and connected to keep moving forward. I'm super excited for this. I can't wait to share all of these with you. So buckle up and let's get rolling. I love to always have a piece of the nerdy, sciencey part of things. Let's talk about the neuroscience of celebration. When we celebrate our wins, no matter how big or how small, our brain releases dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter that plays a major role in how we feel and how we experience pleasure. This release of dopamine helps to reinforce the behaviors that led to that win, making us more likely to continue that path. It is a natural reward system. This is even for me with my friends, when they win something, when they achieve a goal, when they hit a landmark or something that they've been working towards, I make it a point to celebrate with them. I bring them a bottle of wine, or I take them out to dinner, or bring them a coffee or something to help them to see, hey, let's pause and reflect and understand that we made this thing happen. You made this thing happen. And what can we do to celebrate that? When it comes to dopamine, it isn't just about feeling good. It's also about motivating us to take action. When we celebrate the small wins, essentially what we're doing is we're giving our brains a little boost, an encouragement for ourselves to keep going. This is particularly important when we're working towards a long-term goal where the end may seem super far away. So to bring it back for me with my Ironman training, there's little hits along the way. I do these tests, a run test, a swim test, a bike test, and I celebrate the result of those tests along the way, because then what I can do is get a boost of motivation, a boost of energy. I get that dopamine hit, and so I'm excited to keep going towards the next 30, 60, 90 days. Celebrating small wins also helps to contribute to a habit formation. Acknowledging our process, we reinforce the behaviors that led us to that win, making it easier to establish and maintain positive habits. We talked about habits in a video before, and it's difficult to break bad habits. It's difficult to build good habits, but when we start to replace bad habits with good habits and celebrate those along the way, we end up actually breaking the cycle of bad habits and rebuilding and forming new cycles of success that build momentum over time. You've probably heard of the grind mentality. In our culture, there's often glorification of the grind. This idea that we constantly need to be pushing forward, we constantly need to be going after our goals, we constantly need to be succeeding and hitting the next steps. We don't need rest. We'll rest when we're dead. All these things that have, while hard work is important, the mentality of continuing to grind through something and continuing to push through the barriers and continuing to not rest and continuing to move, it can lead to detrimental burnout. And I've seen this too often. I've experienced it myself. We have these goals, we keep pushing, we don't take a rest, we put more things on top of it. It leads to anxiety, it leads to depression, it leads to burnout, lack of motivation, not wanting to do the things that you love anymore. And so we've got to really start breaking those habits. And we do that by creating rest and recognizing that sometimes it's a grind season versus a rest season. And I'm going to actually do a full podcast on how to set goals and break them into increments to help you achieve them and put in more rest with that. When we don't take the time to celebrate our wins, we miss out on these dopamine boosts. And over time, this can lead to feelings of exhaustion, discouragement, and depression. The grind without the celebration can create a sense of never being good enough. As we're constantly chasing the next big dream, the next big goal, the next big thing that's coming our way, we don't take time to appreciate how far we've actually come and determining which direction we need to go next. Without regular moments of celebration, again, we risk burnout. You're going to hear me talk a lot about burnout because I see it too much in our society. And burnout really occurs when we are under prolonged stress without adequate recovery, without adequate celebration, and recognizing you're doing a great job. You're doing better than you think you are. You've come further than you have reflected on. Your mind is different than what you think it is. And so we've got to understand these things, that there's a balance of figuring that out so that we can continue to move forward and achieve the goals that we have for us. Burnout can actually manifest physically, emotionally, and mentally. You experience exhaustion, making it difficult to continue pursuing your goals. And at the end of the day, you'll have a lack of energy, you'll have a lack of enthusiasm. And so you won't even want to achieve the goals that you've set out to achieve. Celebrating the small wins doesn't have to be a single solo activity. It should be something that you do with your friends, with your families, with the people within your community that you're achieving these goals with. And maybe it is virtual. Maybe a lot of your community is online, but it's okay to celebrate those with your community. This is going to actually boost more positive effects with that, because now other people are going to start coming around you to celebrate the small wins, remind you to celebrate these things, and we create a sense of connection and support when we start to bring the community back together in this process. When we share our wins with other people, we actually receive social reinforcement. The encouragement, the recognition from others can amplify that dopamine release in our brains, making the celebration even more impactful. So yes, it's great to celebrate by yourself, but it's even more impactful when you actually bring other people into that celebration with you. There's something incredibly fulfilling about sharing joy with other people, especially people that are champions of your success, people that love to pour life into you, that love to be around you when you're building these things and are 100% with you as you build this. When we see happiness in others, it deepens our own happiness. And so you being happy and achieving and celebrating your wins helps other people to be happy and achieve and celebrate their wins. So together, we get to strengthen our community. We strengthen our relationship. When we build these bonds of celebration together, it actually helps to build trust. It fosters a new sense of belonging. And it helps to create positive memories that we look at. When we look back on our most favorite memories and our moments in the community, oftentimes it's, hey, remember when we went out and celebrated because this win happened or because this person achieved this thing? So bring people into that. In a community, celebration becomes a collective experience, again, creating more joy and making the journey less lonely and more enjoyable. So it's time to reach out and share with other people. Here's some practical things to start celebrating your wins. First of all, you have to identify the small wins. Sometimes we're so focused on the big goals that we forget and overlook the small things that takes to get us there, those small steps. So start by identifying these small wins. It could be completing a workout. It could be making a healthy meal. It could be writing those 143 pages in a book in order to achieve your goal of writing a 50,000 page book. You'll hear about that in the next episode when I talk about goal setting. And simply getting out of bed on a tough day, if you're experiencing anxiety, depression, lack of determination, that could be a small win. Simple ritual to celebrate your wins. What does this look like? It could be as simple as taking a moment to reflect. It could be as simple as just raising your arms up in the air and celebrating silently. It could be writing it down in your journal. It could be sharing it with a friend, posting it on Facebook, on Instagram, on social media. I do want to caution that though, because if you are posting on Instagram, Facebook, social media, things like that, there may be people that aren't ready to celebrate your wins as you're growing in your progress. So you want to be cautious of where you're sharing these things. You want to share it with people that are supporters of your success and not just the whole entire world. So be cautious of what you're sharing on social media and make sure that it's including people that are specifically close to you. Build time into your schedule to reflect on your progress. This could be a weekly thing. This could be a monthly thing. This could be after completing specific milestones in your goals, hitting those steps. But regularly acknowledging your wins can help you stay motivated, but also help you to prevent burnout and keep you moving forward. Again, don't be afraid to share and celebrate with others. It may just be in a simple text message to a friend, to a group. It may be a post on social media, but again, be cautious of what you're putting on social media. It could be when you're out to dinner with a group of close friends that you let them know, hey, this just happened for me. I really want some help celebrating it, and help them come into your world, into your life, and celebrate these small achievements and these small moments. I can't tell you enough how much it's going to boost your motivation to keep moving forward. I think that so often we isolate ourselves, and this is me talking to myself, because I have moments where I just want to keep everything close to me, keep it close to my chest, not let people in. And it's hard for me to allow people to come in and celebrate my wins, celebrate my successes, to help me achieve the next thing. So I've gotten in the habit of bringing people in and sharing with them my goals and what I want to achieve, and talking about my successes and being comfortable with where I'm at and what I need to do. And it's really changed my outlook on some of the goals that I have to try and achieve, and also what I want to move forward in. You now know the importance of celebrating your small wins, the science behind why it matters, the dangers of not celebrating. And you also know the role of the community that enhances these celebrations. So I want to encourage you, first of all, the next episode that we're going to do is going to be talking about goal setting. Write out your goals, take some weekends, and figure out what these big goals that you want to achieve are. Break them down into smaller goals. And then at those smaller goals, make sure that you are scheduling in time to celebrate, that you are scheduling in time to bring community in, that you're saying, hey, when I achieve this goal, let a small group of people know when I achieve this goal, we're going out to celebrate. We're going to go have lunch. We're going to go have breakfast. We're going to go out for a night out on the town. We're going to go on a small trip, whatever that looks like for you to celebrate and achieve these small goals. Continue to get the motivation in and behind your mind to keep pushing forward. Remember, and I think this is a common misconception, that celebrating small wins isn't about you becoming complacent. It's not about you giving in to the bigger goals and just being okay with the smaller goals. It's about you acknowledging your progress along the way and using that as fuel to keep you going. Life is a marathon and it's not a sprint. These moments of celebration are the water stations, the aid stations that help keep you energized and hydrated along the way. So this week, I want to challenge you to identify one small thing that you can have a victory party for, and invite somebody, if it's just one person or maybe two or a group of 5 or 10 people, and invite them in to your celebration, whether it's a personal victory, a professional achievement, or even that you just got through a tough day. Share it with people that you trust and that you love. Take a moment to truly appreciate how far you have come and honor these steps along the way. We've got to honor the small wins, honor them. So thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning how to celebrate the small wins and why it's important. I hope that you found this episode helpful. If you have, share it with somebody that needs help celebrating small wins, that's maybe they're stuck in a grinding season and they haven't rested and they haven't celebrated. Be the person that reminds other people that they need to celebrate as well. Tune into next week's episode as we go through how to set SMART goals and what it's going to take to achieve those things. Stay healthy, stay strong, and as always, stay battle ready.